Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Final Disaster. This is Battlefield 1. In today's weapon review, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Gewehr 98 Sniper exclusive long-range bolt-action rifle to, of course, the Scout class in Battlefield 1. We're going to be looking at the base stats, properties of this weapon, as we always do, as well as, of course, its sweet spot mechanic and what combat range it is and for what playstyle this weapon is best suited for. Now, sniper rifles are a lot more interesting than they used to be, unlike Battlefield 4, where it was all about muzzle velocity, fire rate, and maybe magazine size, and whichever had the best combination of those three was king of the hill. In Battlefield 1, thanks to the sweet spot mechanic, you have different sniper rifles that are better at certain situations and for certain players, making it a lot more interesting, and there's now a larger variety of viable weapons in the recon class for Battlefield 1. Now, this is great. It did come somewhat at the expense of class balance on the battlefield, but nevertheless, it makes talking about sniper rifles a lot more interesting and a lot more viable. Speaking then of today's sniper rifle, the Gewehr 98 Sniper, let's start with the basic stats of it. Obviously here, we're going to have a sweet spot mechanic damage model. It starts at a minimum damage of 80, goes all the way up to 100 damage between the distances of 80 to 125 meters, where it then starts to drop off again once more down to a minimum damage of 80. Its fire rate is low, and this is even for Battlefield 1 standards at 50 rounds per minute. It's relatively low. However, as I've said before, fire rate are not one of the most important things for longer range sniper rifles. It is a factor that you should consider. Nevertheless, however, 50 rounds per minute is not horrible, and it, in my opinion, shouldn't make too much of a difference to the performance of this weapon. What will make a difference, however, to the performance of this weapon is its muzzle velocity, which at 880 meters per second is the fastest in the game, and that by quite a long shot. The next sniper rifle up regarding muzzle velocity is at 820 meters per second, so there is a significant difference here. Now, what's so great about muzzle velocity being fast? Well, your target has less time to duck behind cover if you've already fired your shot, or if they're running, you have to lead your target less. Now, this is not the be and end all. Muzzle velocity is an important factor, not the only important factor, but having a faster muzzle velocity makes a sniper rifle feel a lot more snappier and responsive, and makes it a more enjoyable experience, as well as a easier gun to use. So, the Gewehr 98 Sniper, or the Gewehr 98 actually in general, has a very strong positive point with its very fast muzzle velocity. Moving on then next to magazine size, we have a standard magazine size for sniper rifles, sadly relatively small at 5 bullets, enough to take out, well, 2 to 3, maybe even 5 targets if you never miss a shot. However, you will find yourself reloading this gun frequently, which isn't, however, the most detrimental thing to this weapon, because you shouldn't be using this weapon in too much close quarter situations. In my opinion, at least, this is much more of a long range sniper rifle, given of course by its sweet spot damage model, its sweet spot damage area, distance in which it does a one-shot kill. Having talked about the magazine size, then let's move on to reload times of the Gewehr 98 Sniper. Of course, here we have a short and a long reload, and they're a little bit more complicated to find out than they were, for example, in Battlefield 4, because we no longer have magazine-fed sniper rifles. With that being said, a short reload in my case is going to be a reload where you only reload 1 bullet, and a long reload is going to be the reload where you reload the entire strip clip. In this case, this is 5 bullets in total, which you're only going to be able to do basically when this weapon is empty. Single bullet reload time then, or the short reload for the Gewehr 98 Sniper, is going to be at 2.267 seconds. Every bullet you reload in addition to that is going to cost you another half a second of reload time. If you reload, however, all your bullets at once, that's to say the whole clip, then it's going to take you 3.067 seconds. Reloads aren't that important in sniper rifles. It's just good to know that it will take you a little bit of time to reload the sniper rifle, as it does take you quite a bit of time to reload most of the sniper rifles in this game. Now, with the stats of the Gewehr 98 being covered, what is this rifle good at? What does it specialize in? Or is it more of an all-rounder sniper rifle? Now, firstly and foremost, most definitely this sniper rifle is a very competent weapon, especially in the right hands, but it shouldn't be too difficult to make use of. However, I was surprised at the number of shots that it was taking at enemies under its necessary sweet spot range. That is to say, I was too close to my enemies to take advantage of the one-shot kill potential between the distances of 80 to 125 meters, which at 45 meters is actually quite a generous sweet spot. There are a number of weapons out there whose sweet spots are a lot smaller than that. I was surprised that I was actually usually hitting my targets much closer to where, for example, the Russian 1895 sweet spot was at, instead of the Gewehr 98. That's not to say this weapon is bad, it simply means that this weapon is much more specialized at long-range engagements, and the general stat sheet points towards that just as much. It's not just the sweet spot damage model which says so, but frankly it's very strong in the areas most important for long-range shooting, namely of course damage model or sweet spot, and of course muzzle velocity with the highest at 880 meters per second. And it's weaker, not to say weak, but weaker than some of its competitors in the areas not quite as vital for maybe long-range sniper shooting, things like fire rate or magazine size, for example. Now, frankly, for me, this gun isn't necessarily the best I can be at. I find the Russian 1895 to be much more within my usual engagement distance. That is, however, something very personal to each player individually and to their playstyle. If you are much more of a long-range sniper person, then the Gewehr 98 is likely the perfect weapon for you. It's a very competent gun without serious flaws in its statistical makeup, and I also didn't find any in using it in practice. It's just as good as any other sniper rifle if you're using it in the right hands, at the right distances, for the right purposes. If you're much more of an aggressive sniper player, or even somebody who likes more versatile sniper rifles, if you like to act in a little bit more of a medium range engagement distance, that's from a sniper rifle's perspective obviously, not from that of an assault class weapon, then maybe other guns are better suited for you. And of course, close quarter sniper rifles, there's a number out there with the Martini Henry or even the SMLE, those are better suited for that. So the Gewehr 98 is very much the long-range sniper rifle's choice, the long-range sniper's choice for Battlefield 1, and it does that role very, very well. If you try to use it outside its comfort zone, it will still perform well, however you will be at a minor disadvantage to some of the other rifles out there with, for example, faster fire rates, different sweet spot damage models, or maybe even more bullets in their magazine. With all that being said, feel free to leave your experiences with the Gewehr 98 Sniper down below in the comments, your opinion both on this commentary on the weapon, of course, as well as always, your future video suggestions both for Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 1 video.